What's up, guys? We are back and we have Van Oaks in, I think, the coolest office we've had one in yet.
Oh
So,
yeah? Really?
yeah, right off the rip, you got to win. But
The bar's
yeah, I've
low.
heard,
We don't
oh
sleep
man,
for days, bro.
it
We
just
got some.
goes
My
and
wife,
goes.
my wife eventually told me get those out of the closet. So the only other location was the office. So
Well, it works out well. No, but we talked right before this, but I've consumed your stuff for a while. I think I saw you speak on stage somewhere, so it's exciting for me. A little bit more into lead gen world and just all over kind of back into the paid land. So, kick it
cool.
off. Who are you?
Cool. Van Oaks. So I'm the founder of Goat Media, Tough Ring, which is silicone ring business. Do quite a bit of consulting, and then I do a lot of speaking, international speaking. But it's all e-commerce based, right? So we're talking primarily 95% Shopify, e-commerce, white hat, just that's the life. So been doing it since, man, I started an agency in 2012. So I've been rocking the paid media ever since then. Um, but yeah, I don't know how deep you want to go into where
Oh, let's
I've
go. We can
been.
go deep. Yeah, because I mean, so ecom almost exclusively right now, right? But then there affiliate lead gen era, or was
Yeah,
it mainly?
so in 2012, I did door-to-door sales, right? I was a door-to-door salesman. I did it for 12 years, so I can't even
Oh
say
man,
it was like my identity. And then in 2000, I ended up having kids, and I missed my when I was doing the door-to-door, I was gone for like 6 to 8 months out of the year just working.
mm.
And I loved it. I love the thrill of sales. I love knocking on people's doors and seeing if I can leave with a check in hand. Like it revs me up. So like I probably would have never quit had I not had children. And then like I was out working one summer and I missed my second daughter walk, and it like tore me to pieces. Like I was missing these crucial moments that you can't get back about being a father. And I was just like, I'm a good sell. Like, what can I do other than this? I'm a good salesman. I just saw my brother-in-law was doing affiliate marketing at the time. And he's like, dude, just come work for me. So I went and worked for a network for probably a month is all. And after a month, I just realized how much these advertisers were
Yeah,
making.
exactly.
And I
Yeah.
was like, wait a second. I'm referring you to this and you're buying and he's making how much and I'm making how much. So I made my own offers and I launched into those. I did about 2 years from 2012 to 2014. I did that. And then I was hired by, uh,
Lost your audio. You're good. These are raw. These are raw. Can't hear you yet.
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Dude, this is crazy. Sorry.
You're good.
I was running all the media for these offers, and then I was hired by a company called Diesel Brothers. They had a show on Discovery Channel at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
They used to sell door to door for me, and then they started this Diesel Brothers company, and they had me go up there, and I was up there from 2014 to 2021, scaling that company up. So that was kind of what launched me into like going and speaking at events and so forth, because that company kind of popped off. I stepped away from there in 2020. We blew that up to $100 million business, and then I stepped away in 2021 to launch Goat Media, where we run these giveaways for everybody instead of just the Diesel Brothers. Or now we do it for everybody. So that's kind of like the cut and dry, the short
Yeah.
version of how I got here.
Yeah, very cool. So sweepstakes. I mean, I'm sure we can get deep into it right now, but I saw yeah, I mean, someone commented about that. I looked you up and it was on like three or four of the things. You're giving talks on it. So you guys launch them for companies or
Yeah. Yeah,
that's the
both.
model?
I mean, my own brand, Tough Ring, we run our own, but primarily we do this for all sorts of people. There's Gas Monkey Garage, Richard Rollins, there's Bailey Zimmerman, the country music artist,
Yeah.
the Diesel Brothers. Like, These things are popping off like crazy. Back in 2013, there was nobody that had done this. We literally
Yeah.
wrote the rules for this. We had to deal with the legal counsel of figuring out how to make these things work and make them legal and compliant. And then we did that, and since then it's morphed into a whole business model. There's a whole niche of businesses that give away vehicles, and they really do give them away. It's not like fake affiliate sweepstakes
Yeah.
type stuff. This is like legit. If you buy a shirt, you get an entry for every dollar you spend, and we actually give these.
You're good. No, the Own Boss guys, Own Boss,
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
yeah,
those guys. My buddy owns a building, and they rent out like a space there, and they're real close. And I just saw their stuff where they're giving away trucks and skid steers and
and
like all
all
that stuff.
we ran all of
Yeah,
own
and that,
bosses.
oh, you have.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, no, it's an interesting model. I mean, let's get into it on that. So like I mean, obviously economics are it's less to give away the thing than more what you make, but like I know theirs has some like e-commerce play where like you're buying something to get tickets for or like to get tickets or value or whatever for it. But like what is we have an info coaching business for context. So we have like a large women's fitness info coaching business. So generally what we're is a one-to-one with a coach for annual, but it's like, okay, cool, we could give away one of those. But when you give away one of those directly, the issue is then people don't buy the thing because they're like, oh, am I gonna win? So they don't buy the thing until they know if they're gonna win. But like the other side of it's like, do you give away something massive? Then it's all leads. Then all those people are supposed to buy. Like, what does that look like? Oh, I don't have your audio again.
That's
Now I
dude,
got you.
this is crazy. I don't know why it's doing this at all.
Oh, you're good.
So
Riverside sometimes plays, maybe.
and he said, anyway, I'll break it down for you, like how the unit economics
Yeah.
of making one of these business work. But like at the end of the day, you need to understand that when you're running paid media, Meta, for example, that's an auction-based platform. And if you're selling a t-shirt and your t-shirt's $40, that's cool. And I'm selling a t-shirt and my t-shirt's $40. But if you buy my t-shirt, you can win a Lamborghini, right? This is an auction-based platform. I'm going to win all of those auctions, right? For significantly cheaper than you are, right? So what ends up happening is when brands hop on these giveaways is they end up seeing the cost of acquisition drop by 3x because the offer's so much better. The CPMs are cheaper because there's more engagement on the ads, and so everything's working better. And then the cost of acquisition is cheaper. So at scale, these giveaways, you'll pay off the car or the truck within 3 days, and then the rest of the giveaway is all just money coming in, right? So we kind of learned this very early, and then now transition to a bunch of businesses to where, like OwnBoss, you can buy digital entries just to get entered to win their stuff, or you can buy merchandise, you can do whatever, and we give it away every single month. So I've never in over 200 giveaways. I've given away over $15 million of prizes. Never one single time have we lost money on the front end. I'm not talking lifetime value because this is a great way to acquire customers for
Yeah.
significantly cheaper and to grow your email list, your SMS list. I'm talking monetarily on the front end. We've came close to breaking even a bunch of times, but like after spend, that's a win, right? Because you just
Yeah.
acquired all these new customers that you
Yeah.
did not have before. And these guys are paying the difference with like sweeps that you've heard of. It's like, give me your email or your phone number and you could win an iPhone. So these people don't have money. They're just trying to win something to begin with, right? As to where with us, you actually have to spend money to get entered to win. So like you're buying merchandise or you're buying entries. So these are clients, these are good customers to have, people with credit cards that are spending money.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I know Iman just did his monetized thing, and in there was like the mania, you win a McLaren. If you're like the
Yeah.
top person inside there who hits the top dollar collected in the first 60 days of the program or 30 days or whatever it was. But yeah, I don't know that I've seen a lot of people in info coaching do that. I mean, I know sweeps, I
There's
know the
very
whole
few
lead gen.
people in the info. I think what you need to understand though too is that with these giveaway companies that we're running these sweepstakes and stuff for, we're never giving away their own product. Like your product is a byproduct by
Yeah.
which they enter to win a dream that you're not selling, right?
Yeah.
You're not selling a Lamborghini or or a G-Wagon or whatever. But that's the dream that you're pitching, and that's what's going to come up in these ads. It's like, win this thing. Oh shit, how do I win this? Okay, I become a member of this group, I do this coaching, and then I could win this, right? As opposed to just like you said, win a year's worth of free coaching, but what are they gonna like? They're already
Yeah.
buying coaching. How are
Yeah.
they gonna win another year of it, right?
Yeah.
So we find that the things that work the best to give away are like niche items that are hard to find, like a custom built car or a Louis Vuitton purse or something that's hard to find, hard to get your hands on, but everybody would want, but they're not going to spend disposable income on. So like
Yeah.
your regular person can afford to go out and buy a Lamborghini, right? But they sure as hell can spend $50 on the weekend after their paycheck to maybe even win one, right?
Yeah.
So it just gives people a chance to win a dream, and your product becomes the byproduct by which they do that.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I'm definitely gonna think on how we could do some version of that. And then it's like your current members need to also be already included because for us, like you have communities, so like that's its own thing. But
For
yeah,
sure, yeah. They can get
mostly-
entered too. They can even buy. You can even have them buy entries to win it too. Like, hey, you're already a member. You're already paying the monthly. This month, we're going to give you the entries because you're already paying it. At the end of the day, these are monopoly. These entries are monopoly money, right? So, like, it doesn't matter how many entries you give away. You still have to give away the same vehicle or the same thing. If you get a million or if you get one entries, it doesn't matter. You have to give away that item. So definitely incentivize your people that are already paying and say, hey, this month you guys are actually already going to get entries into winning this.
yeah,
And
no,
then use it for customer acquisition as well.
yeah. What do you guys do for so like post entry? What's that sequence? So like how long do these usually run? Are they like month long? And
Great
then
question.
like throughout that, are you hyping them up and trying to get more entries? And then what's the like launch? Do you guys go live on like public or is it only for people who bought or like what is that?
Yep. That's a great question because there's brands I've done everywhere. I've done a year-long giveaway. I've done a 3-day long giveaway, right? And everywhere in between. So some of these guys are pretty aggressive, and some of them are not so aggressive. And we find what works the best typically is the 6 to 8 week long giveaways. When you get longer than 8 weeks, so 2 months, people can't see a finish line, so they can't get excited about it because it's like, why am I going to buy this? They're not giving it away till next year. Meh. But if we can get some urgency behind it with a countdown timer, it's like, hey, this ends next month or this ends next week. The
Yeah.
urgency is high and the fear of loss is very high.
Yeah.
So all the psychology of selling comes in and people start to get entered immediately. So when we launch, and we typically do a month to 2 month long giveaways, depends on the company, but we'll launch out pretty heavy the first week because it's exciting and new and everything works really well, and your customer lists are all popping off, everybody's super pumped on it. And then typically the second, the middle, can
You're
you
good.
hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
middle
good.
of the middle of the giveaway will lull a little bit just because it's not new and exciting. And then I 50% of the revenue will come in the very last week of the giveaway just because it's
I just
ending,
hammer
fear
it.
of loss, all the psychology comes into it and people start buying. So the majority of your revenue will be made in that last week that it's ending.
Interesting. And then when you guys go live with like, are they crazy? Are they like these big like shows that you're doing to like announce who
Right.
won and like put them on a wheel and like do all the thing? Or
Depends on the company, right? We've got companies that have massive YouTube channels and TV shows, and they're doing all of that, right? And then we've got smaller companies that don't have a YouTube channel, that don't have a TV show, and really all their, but they'll still do the, like when somebody wins, we still want everybody, like when they come pick up the truck or the car or whatever, we're popping confetti and we're filming all of this stuff because then we turn
yeah,
around and we turn this content into remarketing material that is just untouchable. Like watching somebody win a car or something like that and realizing, damn, I could have been that person. It works really well for remarketing. So we film all of it, right? We film ads before we launch. So we're running pretty heavy paid on all channels like Facebook, Meta, Google, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, all of them. We're pushing pretty hard. Can you hear me?
yeah, you're good.
Yeah, it's legal. It's legal on all these platforms if you register it correctly. So
Yeah,
yeah,
what's
we
that
we
look?
push pretty hard on
What's the legal portion of it look like? So you just have to have it so it's available to everyone, or what's that? Because I know there's a weird sweeps rules where it's like,
Yep. You got it. You got it. So anything over $5,000 worth of total value, you actually have to license, register, and bond in every state in the United States. Anything under 5 grand, they don't really care about. But when you're getting into cars and stuff like that, all these states want their cut of the giveaway, blah, 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 blah. So you have to register it legally. We have a law firm in house that does that and takes care of everything for you. And then the way that we make this legal, like you're saying, is because if they have to buy something to enter to win, that's gambling and that's illegal.
yeah,
So the way that we get around that is something called an AMOE, which is an alternative method of entry. So if they go to your official rules and they go all the way, scroll all the way down there, they can find in your official rules that every dollar that they spend gets them entered to win. Or if they don't have any money, they can send a postcard in to this address, a 3x5 postcard at this time, at this date, and they can get the same amount of entries as your average order value. So this allows people without money to get entered to win, and it also makes it legal by offering an
yeah,
AMOE.
interesting. Yeah, dude, my brain is like spinning on how we could do something like this because I see those
Yeah, and you
guys and they,
gamify it big time, right? We gamify it big time. So when you come to the site, like every product's just like, this is $50. But if you buy this product, I'm going to give you 5x entries. So instead of $50, you're going to get 250 entries if you buy this product. And then it has in our cart, it has like, this is how many entries you have. So like we really gambling is the third most addictive thing in the United States behind heroin and alcohol. 80% of Americans admit to gambling on a yearly basis, right? People love to play to win, man. So if you
yeah,
can gamify this and you can make it fun for people, like, yeah, they get product and they're pumped that they're getting your product. They love your brand. They see you guys give away cars. It builds this crazy cool community around your brand because you're doing stuff like Ridge Wallet's done a really good job with it. I don't know if you're
yeah,
familiar with them.
yeah. I see it. And I see them talking
They
about it right now.
came and saw me present in San Diego. I think it was like 2018. I don't even remember. I was speaking on it at an event at Geek Out, and they came, and these guys have really taken it and ran with it to where I think they're giving away a Lamborghini and stuff right now. And they've done a good job of gamifying the whole situation. They're doing fantastic.
Yeah. So when you say breaking even on the front, that's like breaking even in top line, breaking even, or like, oh,
Yeah, that's
okay,
after your ad spend. That's after paying to get it legally registered. That's after buying the vehicle or whatever you're doing. That's after all of that. Um, we find vehicles work the best or physical, tangible items that are kind of niche and hard to find. Cash works the second best, and the worst one is vacations. People always try to do vacations, like, hey, we're gonna give away this vacation, but I don't think that your average American, like, just the thought of a vacation stresses them the hell out. They only
yeah,
got 10 days off of work to begin with, and they've got Christmas and they've got all this. How are they going to afford other days off? They just don't work that
that's
well if
interesting.
people think they do. People would much rather just receive a new car at their house
Yeah.
or a
Our
cottage.
our target demo is like 40 to 60-year-old women. So I'm just like thinking in my head, both sides. It's like one, what is the physical product side of things? Because like we have swag, but like we don't really sell it. And then yeah, it's it's like 99% info coaching. And it's like then
Yeah,
we have this low ticket thing on the front that like does ascend up. So that would actually probably crush with that if we had some like proper low ticket and then, ascended through while that was all happening. But
yep.
no, it's a super interesting idea. Okay, so I won't hammer you too much about this. I asked people questions on what they had, and there's some solid ones in here. So I wanna go through these though. But
Okay. Okay.
first one, how do I get a mustache like that?
Bro, it takes a lot of time and effort and swag, dog. I've had this mustache. Swear to God, I've had this since I was like 22, and it was awful. I used to put mascara in my mustache. That's how thin it was, dude. And I thought it was funny at the time because nobody had
Yeah.
mustaches back then. I just thought it was funny and I would get a laugh. And then it just never stopped, dude. It just turned into who I am. I've shaved it a couple times. Full disclosure, my wife hates it. She hates kissing it. So like I've shaved it a couple times for her, but I just lose a piece of my soul when I do it. And believe it or not, like all jokes aside, there's a level of branding with it too
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
that you kind of lose out on. That people like, oh yeah, the dude with the mustache.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know that guy. So
yeah.
So there is a level of branding to it, but at the end of the day, it's my calling card. That's my
Yeah, no,
soul.
100%. I mean, I remember the Mosey signs. Everyone used to have the big
Yep.
mustache thing. He would have the
Yep.
signs. It's a calling card, no doubt. All
Exactly.
right. Someone else asked while we're on the sweepstakes, but how would you use that in other industries, like a software or a B2B? So, what
It
are
would be all
examples?
it would be all the same, right? It's no different except hey, if I were doing B2B with like CEOs and stuff like that, I would look into like a Rolex or an AP or something that like once again, every businessman wants, everybody wants an
Yeah.
AP that's doing business. So like if you're giving one away, you like just the same thing. If you sign up for our program or if you download our software, we're gonna give this away next month, but you got to get entered this month. So it's the same concept with any type of business, and we've done it with all sorts of. I would say the majority of people are ecom, but the theory um, is it works with everybody. I mean, the greatest game of all time. You remember the Monopoly game with
Yeah.
McDonald's?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
old. I'm old. Just know that, like full disclosure, I'm very old. So like this, my childhood was this Monopoly game, going to McDonald's and they were so good at gamifying this to where you
So
would get
good.
a boardwalk or you would get one of the three or two of the three, and then they just never sent out the other piece. But you felt like you were so close to winning that you just kept buying stuff. It's the most successful marketing campaign of all time, and it goes back to the desire to win something you've always
Yeah.
dreamed of. It
Yeah.
works with all America, with
Yeah.
everybody.
No, 100%. Yeah, it's all like P2P, right? It's like it's not B2C, it's not B2B. Like you're selling to a person still, and like what does that person want? Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Exactly.
What kind of actionable tactics do you deduce for what works and what doesn't? Meaning something like trial and error, testing. What does it look like for you? And specific in this.
Testing as far as a giveaway company, or are we talking media
Yeah, I
buying?
think it just means actionable tacking process to deducing what works and what doesn't for you.
It takes time. Testing. I mean, even with media buying, it's the same thing, right? You're constantly testing. You're trying this campaign, and it didn't work last time, but you give it another couple months, and you come back and test it, right? So with a lot of these giveaway brands, sometimes they'll pick like a prize that maybe doesn't fit the demographic, like yours, that's all 40 to 6-year-old women. We're trying to give away this big, huge diesel pickup truck that's insane. It's just not that doesn't work, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes we'll run into guys that'll attempt to give away a car or something that doesn't fit the demographic and it doesn't do well. So then they test something else. You got to find what works, but at the end of the day, testing is king. Even if you know what works, you still need to be challenging that theory from time to time. Like we just did it with our whole media buying team because we hadn't been running Advantage Plus, and then we tested and it's outperforming what we were, but it wasn't working before, and now it is. So you just constantly be testing. I don't know if that answers this question
Yeah, no, I think it
directly.
is. Yeah. The media buying one is interesting, right? Like I was talking to Jeremy Haynes and he was like, dude, we duped a funnel and split tested instead of like he's like we relaunched it with like a different link and just did it. And he's like, and they both were working. And then we split it again and relaunched something. And he's like, and they're all working in their own way. So we just kept them all live. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
constantly just trying to like prove myself wrong or like
You
finally
have
I don't
to,
care
dude,
who's
or
right.
you're going to get left behind. If you're not trying and testing new things, you're going to get left behind, right?
Yeah.
You have to be testing at all times. I know, Jeremy.
Yeah. All right. So zoom into lead gen. So what was your favorite lead gen thing you've run?
Um, so
That's a
I
there's
haven't
stories
run a
behind.
ton I will say I'm not a lead gen dude. Like I haven't done a ton of it. But back in the when I was at Diesel Brothers, and I was working there, my buddy James Van Elswick, do you know James from Purple
Mm.
Lead?
Oh yeah, definitely yes.
Yeah. So
I
James,
just called James VE. That's why in my head it was James.
yeah, the James VE. So James at the time, back with Purple Lead, this is like 2016 or so. He was buying solar leads at the time, and I was doing all the media buying at Diesel Brothers. And I was just like, I think I could test this, right? So I started running like solar leads myself, and I was doing okay. And then I found some dude outside of, I think he was, I want to say Pakistan. I don't fully remember, but this dude was killing it. And I was just buying leads off him and selling them to James. He knew the situation. It wasn't like I was being shady about it. I was like, dude, this dude's better than I am. You can pay me the same CPL, same everything. And but this dude, we were doing a lot. we were doing a lot of volume, and I was just taking what he was doing and selling it for a $2 rip to James, and James was super happy with the quality. So that, like, as far as lead gen, that's about as deep as I got into it, was making money with solar.
Yeah. I just that's hilarious. Yeah, he spoke on stage there, and then we got to connect through John after. And, like all this world is connecting. It's hilarious. It's like SaaS agency, affiliate lead
He's a
gen.
gangster, man. He's one of my
It
closest
was,
friends. He's an
yeah,
absolute gangster in the lead gen space.
yeah, he's a legend. Okay, so did you do anything like affiliate ecom ever?
Never affiliate ecom. The only ecom affiliate I did was 2013 to 15 when I had my offers. I had a testosterone offer, and I had a skin offer, and I had a diet offer. I had all the offers that they had
All the
back then.
offers under the sun.
That's what everybody was running, and that's what I was doing back then. But that's the only time I ever did anything affiliate. I stopped that in 2014.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and into traffic channels, so paid email, SMS, what kind of like what is your guys' go-to right now? I mean, everything works, everyone knows everything works, but like what is your core?
Well, I think what everybody, so we're heavy, obviously, on all of these platforms, Meta being the biggest for sure. I think what I'm most known for is probably Snapchat. I know that sounds
Yeah.
insane, but like even in 2000, in 2019, I won something called the Snapchat Star of the Year, which I don't think it meant, like, I really don't think it was that I was the best media buyer on the platform, but I think it was I spent the most money on the platform. So, like, this dude wins the award. But I've been buying on that platform since it came out, right? And I think it's really underrated. I still think, like, they went through a transition when iOS 14 came out that it was awful, and the tracking was bad, and they didn't have a CAPI, and all of the above. And then Q3 of last year, so 2024 Q3, they reached back out to me and they're like, "Hey, we want you to start running again." And I'm like, "It's not working, sorry." And they're like, "Well, we got a new CAPI installation, blah 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 blah." So we did all of that stuff, and all of a sudden Snapchat's working again, right? So,
Yeah.
like, I just spoke in Barcelona about Snapchat. So at $2.50 CPMs, yeah, you're right, it doesn't convert as well as Meta or some of these other or Google, right? But at $2.50 CPMs, you can afford for it to not convert as well, right?
Yeah.
You're 10 times cheaper than Meta,
Yeah.
and you can access a completely different audience that's not on Facebook. There's, like, most of the kids, and I'm talking 20 to 30-year olds, a lot of them, like, don't even have Facebook. That's not a
Yeah.
joke. A lot of
Yeah.
these guys do everything through Snapchat. They call, they text, they video, they do everything through Snapchat. So there is a different demographic that's not necessarily on Meta, that's on Snapchat, that you can access. And if you, even if you're getting a 250 cent CPM and you're spending aggressively, that's just going to improve the results of Meta and Google, because it's just going to give
Yeah.
them more traffic to then turn around and retarget, right? So we see a lift on all channels when we start pushing on Snapchat.
Interesting. Interesting. And then what about TikTok and specifically TikTok Shop because you do ecom?
Yeah, love TikTok Shop. Like, I think there's two different types of brands. There's brands that start on TikTok Shop and then transition into Shopify and, like, growing a full brand. And then there's people that start on Shopify and then test out TikTok Shops. I think it's a massive cheat for people right now to launch a product on TikTok Shop and see if it's successful. It's so easy to launch there, right? And then you can, and if you can build a brand there, then yeah, transition it to a Shopify and start running Facebook ads and do the whole thing. But as far as, like, a proof of concept, it's hard to beat TikTok Shop
Yeah.
just to see if your stuff works, right? So we leverage TikTok a lot in our paid media, um, and as well as Snapchat and email, SMS, Google, YouTube, all of the above.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, we business partner in this was just hanging out with Hudson, the comfort guy.
Come
And
Hudson, man. I was just with him in Miami, man. That dude is a gangster. You know who his mentor is?
uh-uh.
Have you ever heard of David Forgery? So there's a guy named Davey,
Oh,
who
Davey, yeah.
yeah, Davey from Australia. So
Yeah.
he launched Hoodie. So that's how old I am once again. I was buying all the Snapchat media for Udi back in the day when they were doing 150 million a year, 200 million a year. And Hudson, he was Hudson's
Yeah, in that
mentor.
program.
So it
Forever.
makes perfect sense why he's scaling so aggressively and doing crazy numbers at such a young age. Like, but it's not a fluke too, because if you look
No.
into Hudson, he had a teeth whitening brand before, and he just knows the dude's a gangster, man, and
No, yeah.
he understands how to leverage influencers for purchases, right,
Yeah.
through TikTok Shop and so forth.
Yeah, my business partner was out in like Hamptons or something, I think, and they went and got dinner, and he was like, "Dude, the numbers they're pacing, the TikTok shop size,
Bro,
the amount of units they're pushing." I was like, "It's crazy. It's just like a
it's
whole different frame
insane.
for us." We can't figure out because the TikTok shop it's all physical, right? It's all physical products. Can't do any info, so it's like, can you bolt info plus some physical thing or like play some game?
Send
But
them a
that's
notebook. Send them a notebook, and they get a notebook in the
exactly.
mail.
Get a notebook and like use your login info written inside of it for your info
Yeah.
product. But yeah, no, something like that. But I would think with the giveaway stuff, if you're buying physical products, being able to push that and then people can do UGC and like
Yeah,
get there.
TikTok is really they're very touchy about sweepstakes companies, giveaway companies. So when we run on TikTok, we don't say much about the giveaways. It's like, hey, buy this shirt, and then when they get to the website, they see it because if you're pushing heavy
Yeah.
giveaway type stuff on TikTok, they consider it gambling, and they
Uh,
haven't changed their policy about it, and it's still very strict. They're by far the most strict with it. So we still do a lot of it, but it's more just like check out this merch, and then when they get to the website, it's like, holy cow, I can win a car.
there's a Lambo attached to my t-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
very cool. So like you as an individual, what part of this are you like, what's your super strength within this? So like some guys are like insane with copy and like media buying, some are like insane with ops and systems and structure. Or like where do you sit on as an individual?
Like I'm the dumbest dude in the room. I'll be the first to tell you. I'm a salesman at heart, and I understand what gets people going. I understand how to motivate people to buy. Like that comes from the door-to-door industry, right? So I'm a pretty good salesman online, but at the end of the day, my whole team's like I've hired people that are smarter than I am at media buying, and I understand it fully. I did it for so long, but hiring the right type of people. So my super strength, marketing, I would say, probably. Definitely not each individual platform. I've got professionals for all of those.
Yeah. No, 100%. I did a deep research on you before this and like just was curious because I've been starting to do these more and more. And I'm like, when I start to get a little more out of my realm, I'm like, I'm super curious on like just what exists out there. So I'll like do my own. But it's funny you said the star of the year thing because that popped up on here that you'd
Oh,
spend like
did
how,
it?
yeah, it popped up on here. And the other one was you growing SMS subscriber list and how you were like big on SMS.
Yeah,
So
I used to
yeah.
like so with Diesel Brothers, for example. We were one of the first on Postscript at the time. I'd met Alex. He came through. Anyway, we ended up running Postscript, and we just had an offer. Once again, we had a social media channel of probably 20 million followers combined between all the actors on the TV show and everything. So we spent a whole giveaway and we gave away a full truck. And the only way that you could actually get entered to win this truck is through SMS and email. So
I've
they
been
had
there.
to give us their.
At this point, it's just a bit. You're good. At this point, it's just a bit. It's not back yet. It's not back yet.
And I open
No, you're back.
time. I'm
You're
sorry.
good.
It,
Oh,
it's
you're good.
open.
You're good. Everyone knows my channel for raw as shit. I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably not
I'm
gonna edit
sorry.
this.
I'm
And
making
they're
you
gonna
look.
love it.
I'm
No,
making you
you're
look.
not. Trust.
I'm sorry.
I do that
Um,
myself. You're good.
But what I was saying was we did a giveaway once where we gave away a truck, but the only way you could enter to win was if you gave us your email and SMS, and we were going to send out a private link to the sale when it launched, and you had to be on the SMS or the email list. We grew Diesel Power Gear's SMS list to 1 million people in 1 year, right? And these are all legit phone numbers of people that are spending money to get entered to win these types of trucks. So I'm still very, very bullish on SMS. I think it's your best return of spend on any platform. You got a 98% open rate on an SMS compared to like a 30% open rate if you're good
Yeah.
on email, right? So it's the first thing you check in the morning when you wake up. It's the last thing you check before you go to bed is see if you have a text. So if you can have somebody, if you can have a strong SMS list, you'll go far for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. There's so many things in my head right now that are like overlap from like, because info coaching, we start to play in these like blue sending platforms because we want response rate, not just like open rate.
Yeah.
So it's like because then they lead into text conversations, then lead into phone calls, then lead into high ticket versus
Right.
just like, hey, go to this page and do this action. So it's just like
Yeah.
so interesting to me. I'm like, okay, well, what if we did that, but we had blue sending where we could actually have conversations around things, not just announcements. But yeah, no, SMS is crazy. Like we'll do random
Yeah.
pushes to the community and it's like, and we'll get very, very high click and take and all that for community and for some of the stuff in between. Like we're constantly
Yeah.
playing that game with SMS.
Yeah. Right now, it is the most important for sure. Right now, if you can grow that SMS list, man, that'll strengthen a brand real quick.
Yeah, 100%. What is the worst flop of all of these? And you don't have to say actual exact names because you don't want that's not fair, but you can just allude.
The worst giveaway flop, or the worst business flop, or what are we talking here? Because that,
Oh, let's go down them. Let's go down them.
so we'll start first with the giveaway. The worst giveaway flop is we had a luggage brand come to us and they insisted on doing a vacation. And I tried to tell them to not do a vacation, but it made sense because they were a luggage brand and we worked so hard and I worked hard with them. And that was the first time that we ever barely broke even. All the other ones have been super successful. That was the one that was like, that just solidified the fact that vacations don't, even if you're a luggage brand, they don't work well. Right. So
Yeah.
that was probably the biggest giveaway flop. The biggest business, dude. I'm all over it. I've had so many. I'm old, and I've had a lot of businesses. When I was 25, I launched a door-to-door sales company for selling digitizing of pictures. It's called Essentra, and basically, at the time, like 2000. So this is 2005. This was like a big deal. You had all these photos that as time goes older, they just evaporate and they leave, right? And nothing's digitized because you used to have this hard film stuff and videotapes. Like when you're young, like how cool would that
Yeah.
be to be on your phone instead of on these videotapes of your parents and so forth? And the idea was brilliant. And I launched this company. I had a full sales team, and we went out and we did this whole thing. And at the end of the day, when you're selling door to door and you're telling people they need to digitize photos that have been sitting for 20 years, and there's not a reason to do it today, they're just like, this is a good idea. I'll do it when I have money next year. And we could
Yeah.
just never close anybody. And this was like, I sucked a lot of money into this company and it failed miserably. We were probably 6 months in and I was broke.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I literally recall we actually did that with all of my dad's stuff. So it's a real business. It's so
It's an amazing idea. It really is a great idea. The problem is trying to hard close somebody sells door to door, like to do it right at that moment when it's been sitting for 40, 50 years, very hard to do. It didn't work.
yeah,
I lost a lot of money there.
understandably so. Well, cool. Let's go to you for this back portion of this. But like, what does your life and existence look like this? I mean, I run more or less the operations of this thing, so I'm constantly looking like a little bit selfishly as to like as I'm out of the clicking of the keys and building the actual things or doing the media buying, which I never did, but the funnel builds and the marketing tech and the structure and the sales charts and all the things. It's like as I move back and have like proper team, it's like what do you do more or less on a daily basis, and like how are you looking at that evolution of you from there to dream state?
It's changed a lot, right? Because when I launched Tough Ring, it was just me and a partner, and then he stepped away to do a different business, and it's just me there. And then I launched Goat Media and kind of grew that up to where like I can't be full time Tough, I can't be full time Goat Media. I do fractional CMO work for like some big companies like Couture and Cove Security, and there's a bunch that I just fractional consult, and then I do a lot of the speaking, right, all over the world. That takes me everywhere. So I have very good teams. I have to. I'm once again, I'm good at biz dev. I'm good at sales, but like the day to day of operations and stuff, that's not my strong suit. And I have really good operations people at my team that kind of handle everything. So like what does my day look like? I work from home most of the time. I do have an office that I can go to when my kids aren't in school. Kids just went back to school today, so daddy's got home office again. So when they were home all summer, they just kicked the door in, and I'm like on a call, and they're just like, Dad, so you can't work from home with kids at home. So I have an office, but now I can work from home. So I like, once again, I don't have specific days for each company. Like I work on both companies. I typically work probably, I don't know, 6, 7 hours a day is all. I'm huge on the gym, so I'll wake up early. I'll go to the gym. I have like it's my only non-negotiable in life. I
Yeah.
cannot focus. I cannot. I'm in a shitty mood. You don't want to see if I haven't been to the gym. You don't want to meet me. Um, so then I do that. I come back. I get my red light, my sauna, and my ice bath on, and then I start my work day. And I typically Tuesdays till Thursdays, I'll take company calls. I'll take calls. Mondays and Fridays, I leave those open because I travel a lot. And a lot of times that means traveling Friday or Monday. So I really only do sit down business calls on Tuesday through Thursday. And then the rest of the time, if you have the right team in place, it should just run, right? I mean,
Yeah.
theoretically, if you've done,
Theoretically speaking, yeah,
it will
shit.
just run.
Yeah, Hormozy had a thing I heard, or someone actually did a review of going to one of those scaling workshops. And I haven't been to one of those, but they had it was like the 2 week pressure test, and I'm like paraphrasing, but it was basically like a forced vacation. Like you just have to leave and like not answer anything except whatever for like 2 weeks and just like see
Yep.
what breaks. Goal is that you come back and it's like further along, or it's, at least maintained. If it hasn't maintained, it's an issue. But if it's grown, it's like a great thing. And like we were talking about the other day, like should we just take like, we're not gonna take vacations, but like should we take fake ones? Should we just turn off our phones for a week and like just force it? But dude, you look like you have a really like just fun life. Like I followed you on socials and seen your stuff for a while, and we were talking right before this, but like the Cybertruck and the boat and just like fam life and everyone in the space, like it just looks like you have a fun time with things, which I respect a lot.
I've always been. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've always been literally since I was 16. I heard this saying, it's not the amount of years in your life, but the amount of life in your years. And it's never left me since I was 16. And my whole, like, even in high school and growing up, it was just like, dude, I just want to live this life that, because tomorrow's never promised, right? And you never know, right? And there's a book, what's it called? It's called Die with Zero, I think.
yeah,
And it's the same
yeah. Bill
type of
Perkins.
thing. People just they work so hard, right? And then all of a sudden you get to 60 years old and you retire and you have some money. But your chance to go wild out and go or go back Eastern Europe, like whatever, how else do that, right?
Yeah,
And I've always been a really big fan of just like experiencing everything if there's something in this world to experience, I'm going to experience it at least once and
yeah,
twice if I liked it, and 3 times just to make sure that I liked it. So like I'll do it all. Like I go to Burning Man next week is like my favorite time of the year that I disconnect for a full week and I go out to Burning Man. But it's just that's just kind of the life I want to live, right? It's
yeah.
just
Dude,
all gas
unapologetic
break,
you.
baby.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool. The biggest thing in that book, what for me that was like, oh, was when he was talking about the wakeboarding thing. He was like,
Yep.
I like there's things that you can do only at certain times in your life that even you can't wait 20 years to do it. And like I think the couple examples was like, oh, doing like hostels and like hopping around doing that.
All
Like
of those
it's
things.
one thing if you do that in your 20s, and it's another if you do that in your 50s. Like it's a little like like if you're doing it then. Same thing with like, oh, was your body able to do the hikes and the wakeboarding
Yeah.
and the stuff? Wake surfing I think is his example, but like you can't wait on some of that stuff and like making the
Yeah.
time for it versus not. And I was like, wow,
You know,
that's interesting. My
and
buddies and I
also
was
like
talking about
as a father, right? Like which is like my most cherished thing that I have is my kids. Like as a father, you get 18 summers, you get 18 years with your
that.
kids to make memories, right? After the 18 years, they're gone, and chances, yeah, you'll see them on weekends or anything like that. But like the day to day, you've got 18 years. So like, I just bought an RV so that I can throw my kids in the back. I have a Starlink on it so daddy can work from wherever, right? And we'll just take
Yeah,
off and we'll just go and just see where it goes. So we're out here trying to make memories. I don't want my kids to remember. I want them to understand that dad worked hard, but I also don't want them, when they think about dad, I don't want them to think, yeah, my dad was always working.
yeah,
That's a massive loss for me, right? So
yeah.
the most important thing to me is that they say, yeah, my dad was there. Even if, yeah, he's on his computer sometimes in the RV or whatever, but I'm there most of the time.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. What you got any speaking engagements coming up that you're allowed to talk about?
I actually no, I just got back from Mykonos from the Geek Out, which shout out to the Geek Out crew, James and Nick Shackelford. It was
Yeah.
the most intense, amazing event that I've ever been to. Super high end. The quality of people there was unbelievable. Honestly, it was the best event that I've been to in a long time. So I just got back from that. I tried to, I don't know, I'm not trying not to speak as much because it just means dad's gone for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So I might go down to Commerce Roundtable down in San Diego, and then I've got ASE or ASW in Vegas this winter. But aside from that, I'm trying to pump the
Yeah,
brakes a
limit
bit.
it a little. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we'll go to ASW. I've been there a couple times, but I've never bought a ticket. I've always just gone whenever I was going and just like hung out
right.
outside and gone to
I
the
mean, that's where all the
cigar
business is
lounge.
done, anyways, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, at some level. We're not even in lead gen, but I always had these buddies in PR that would go in there, lead gen guys, so it was fun. But this was
Yeah.
fantastic. This is like usually how these go is like it's kind of all over the board, but like usually it's kind of more of that stuff on the front and then like some tactical stuff buried in. Yours was like extremely tactical on the front, and then like yeah, this is just all around very
Dude, and
good and super.
I'm an open book. I know the affiliate industry specifically. Everybody's pretty guarded about their shit, and I get
Yeah,
it, whatever. I'm not that way. Like I
yeah,
think with
same.
Ecom and my agency, it's like, dude, this is what we're doing. This is exactly how we're. If you have questions, honestly, DM me. Like DM me on Instagram, reach out to me, whatever. I'll hop on a call. I'll explain how it all works out. There's enough fish in the sea for everybody, right? And that like the karma that comes with concealing what you're doing and not sharing your knowledge isn't great, right? So what
Yeah,
goes around comes around, and I feel like if you share openly about what's working and you help other people, they'll come and help you out when you need it, right?
yeah, 100%. That's how I got started on this whole thing. Was 120 days in a row of just me making Loom videos talking about the marketing
I love
funnel breakdown and the structure and the ascension rates and the this and
it.
that,
Just
like just
sticking,
everything.
just sticking to it, man. I was up with Jake Paul and Logan Paul last year at an event that we thrown. They came up, and I was talking with Jake Paul's dad, and I was kind of like I feel like Logan's pretty smart, and Jake's kind of like whatever, just kind of like a boy, so to speak. And his dad told me opposite. He's dude, it's opposite. He's like Jake is the one that went out and filmed, 600 days straight of a. There we go. We're back. The type of like work ethic that it takes to go film 600 days consecutively of a vlog and upload it and post it. That's insane, right? And
It's
that's just the
insane.
mentality this dude has is just like, just keeps going no matter what, whether
Just
you got
go. Yeah.
traction, whether he didn't have traction, he didn't have anything,
Yeah.
but he just kept doing it for 600 days.
Yeah, just strictly through brute force. I was like, I'm not going to edit anything. I'm not going to whatever. And by no means was it 600 days of vlogs, but it definitely got a portion of what I was
Yeah.
trying to accomplish across, and it was good. So this was
Oh yeah.
great. And you said what? People what? Instagram is where you want people to go find you?
I mean, yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me anywhere. I'm most as fuckboy as that is. I'm most active on Instagram. So shoot me a DM. I'll respond on Instagram, but you can find me on LinkedIn. I've got vanoaks.co, but Instagram's it's your boy Van on Instagram.
Yeah, that's where I know you from. That's why I didn't even like put together that was how your name. I was like, oh, this makes sense now. Now that I looked back when I was like researching
Yeah,
you,
I
I'm like,
don't even know how that all started with the TV show. It was a whole branding thing. I hate it, but at this point, it is what it is. So
you've owned it. You've owned it. Well, cool.
yeah,
I appreciate you. It's fantastic. A lot of value. And now I have to get my brain turning and maybe work with you guys on something instead of us trying to
yeah,
figure it
just
out. Cause
holler at me, man. It was a pleasure to be on. I appreciate you reaching out and trying to get me on, man.
yeah, 100%. We're gonna rip this thing raw too. So I'm gonna download it as is. I'm gonna upload it as is.
So
It's gonna be
they can
great,
check
and
my mute
everyone's gonna
from my
respect it.
phone. They're gonna this guy like 40 years old and doesn't know how to use a computer.
No, I've had some bad ones. I've had some people like in the mountains places. Like it's funny, and I don't.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much for having me on, brother. I do appreciate it.